Gentlemen, day 30. We're here. Did you think we would make it? And whether you are watching this on day 30 or what is maybe day 79 for you, it doesn't matter. You're here. So thanks for taking this journey with us. But let's finish big here, finish strong. Our memory verse is 1 Peter 3:15. That first phrase says, in your hearts, revere Christ as Lord. Right? Another translation says, set apart Christ as Lord. Just think about that. If we have a mindset where we are revering, we are setting apart, we are worshiping, we are acknowledging Jesus's rightful place on the throne, not ours. When we are doing that, we will think differently. We will live differently. We will view the people in our lives differently. We will have more of a willingness and desire to share our faith when we focus on Jesus. So let's revere Christ. And then we can be ready to give an answer to everyone who asks us to give a reason for the hope that we have. So here is your last challenge for the 30-day challenge. There's more challenges coming. God will provide those. But for your 30-day challenge, share your 3-word testimony with one other person. So it can be someone in your home, at work, one of your teammates, but practice sharing your 3-word testimony. As a bonus, I am inviting you to share your 3-word testimony this Saturday at the men's breakfast. Are you interested? If so, text me or email me, say, hey, I'm in. And remember, we're shooting for 3-ish minutes. All right, ish is like 3 to 4. If it's under 3, that's fine. So let me know. Would love to have you share. And if that's too big of a step and you're willing to share one of your key words, the before, the how, the after, and tell us about that for 30 seconds or a minute, that would be great. We would love to hear. All right. Just a few last thoughts. If you've ever thought, like, my story is boring. If you've ever thought that, you're not alone. Most of us actually thinks that, but that's because we compare our stories to the stories featured on the evening news. Few of us have these outlandish stories. But the key is, whether your story is wild or tame, it is your story. And your story matters because your story tells us about Jesus and how he connected with you and how you're following him. Faith stories are exciting because they are true stories, right? Even if they don't include screenplay material, they reveal that God has been at work in your life. Think of it this way. Your faith story reveals what you believe. It reveals where you've been in life. It reveals how God got your attention. And it reveals why you choose to follow Jesus. That's awesome stuff. All right, 2 more quick tips. Our framework, right, is before, how, and after. And we're trying to find a key word for each of those sections, and then we're unpacking that a bit. Do not skimp on the how section. A lot of times people focus too much on what life was like before Jesus, and it kind of becomes the centerpiece of the story. We want Jesus to be our focus. We want those listening to your 3-word testimony to know how they too can begin a relationship with Jesus. So it doesn't have to be super detailed. I'm just saying, don't skimp on it, assuming, everybody knows, how to do this. No, everybody doesn't know. And related to that, watch your language. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Actually, I mean, watch your language, not in terms of swear words, but in terms of church words, Christianese, if you will. Think about your audience. Who's listening? Mostly Christians, mostly non-Christians, a mix. Just try to avoid the church lingo. Words like saved or rededicate or invite Jesus into my heart. Like, what do those words or phrases really mean, especially to a non-Christian? So, just some examples. So, a word like saved, born again. Instead, a possible alternative to that Christian lingo is, I became a Christian. I decided to follow Jesus. A word like rededicated. Instead of saying that, how about, I got a fresh start. I started over. Instead of saying, I invited Jesus into my heart, how about, I asked Jesus to be the leader of my life? Instead of the word sin, how about, I disobeyed God. I lived life my own way. Instead of washed by the blood, how about, God forgave me? So there's lots more we can share. In fact, send me an email with any of your favorite Christianese lingo and what you would include as a replacement. So let me conclude with this verse. I love this verse, particularly this translation of it. It's from the New Living Translation. Romans 1:12. Paul says, when we get together, I want to encourage you in your faith, but I also want to be encouraged by yours. And that's what these 3-word testimonies do. They revere Christ. They set Christ apart. But then they are encouraging as well. So wild or tame, your story matters because God is at work in your life and we want to celebrate. So who's ready to share on Saturday? And regardless, everyone share with one person today or tomorrow.